Welcome to Coach the Coach, an experience that helps coaches and business executives unlock their leadership potential. Your host, Coach Clark, will sit down with successful athletes, coaches, and entrepreneurs to tap into their knowledge, their lessons learned, and their best practices to lead those around you.
And I was really lucky and fortunate with my assistant coach search. All it took was two phone calls. And it's one of the things that I'm really grateful for. These assistant coaches are veterans in this profession, won championships, been into Division I Final Fours. And I was so happy that they came aboard because they're really teaching me how to coach at this level.
So you brought on two Division I athletes to be your assistant coaches.
No, they were Division I coaches.
Division I okay.
Yeah, my defensive guy, he was defensive coordinator at Cornell, Stony Brook, Dartmouth. My offensive coordinator, he's had great success at the high school level where he won state championships, and on the club circuit has coached high school All-Americans.
So did you know them prior to this, or did you put out kind of like a job ad or a search, or how did that process work?
The defensive guy, Coach DeMayo, his son's on our team. And I knew with his experience, I knew it was going to be beneficial for my growth as a coach.
Did you approach him and ask him if you wanted to get – okay.
I approached him, and Coach Isnardi, our offensive coordinator, he was linked with a former player at Maritime. And he calls me on a Saturday, and we talk like we've known each other for years. And at the end, he goes, "Hey, Coach, thanks for the job interview." I'm like, "What?" Job interview? What are you talking about? So, it's something that we, that we've laughed about, after the phone call. But, and that was it. That's all the search was.
That's phenomenal. So are they there every day, or are they both getting paid, or is this volunteer? How's that process work?
So at the Division III level, for guys who are looking to get into this thing, there's not a lot of money as an assistant coach.
No, not at all.
Like I said, I went there for free my first year there. Okay, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it a living, or go into coaching full time because at the time the business was doing good and I was okay. And
this is your dry cleaning business.
Yeah. What got me thinking, all right, this is what I want to do was with the way the season ended. We finished 3-13, and I was like, you know what, we can win at this place. It's going to take some time. This is going to be a big challenge, and I'm up for the challenge. So, and it took 5 years, to make it happen.
Yeah. 5 years? Are you kidding me? So you started coaching back in 2002? Right.
Yeah. At the high school level.
So going from your high school days to now, I mean, you say it took 5 years, but I feel like that's an 18-year process that people don't see. And you're being very modest about talking about that, but I mean that's kind of like a big thing that people aren't typically noticing or talking about. So
that's actually a very good point because I never thought about that. Because with the stuff that I learned from coaching and being a player, the whole big picture hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Right. Like you mentioned, 18 years or whatever, how long I've been in this thing. And, I've stuck with the same principles that I was taught in high school.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that it still works.
Which are?
So, obviously, added with, what our assistant coaches bring to the table. But, it's, in this day and age and how times are changing and the cultures are changing with the kids. But, the fundamentals and the base and the roots of everything.
The culture change is huge.
Yes, the culture change is huge.
That is what's bizarre to me because, of course, what you think back when you're younger, high school, college aged, and then you're going through life and you're like, why don't these people get me? And then I feel like once I started taking over high school, I'm not far removed. I'm like, I have no idea what the heck these kids are thinking about, what's going on in their head or why they have the thought process. So from your 18 years of coaching, when it comes to culture change, what have you noticed being kind of like the biggest hurdles you've had to get over now at the collegiate level as opposed to when you're coaching at the high school level 18 years ago?
I think one of my strengths is to understand what they're going through.
Yeah.
Specifically, now that I'm in the college level, I had to rewind my personal clock. And what was it like being an 18-year-old to 22-year-old? Okay. And I'll be the first to tell you, I was not good at school. Terrible. Terrible. I went to school upstate New York. I was actually talking about this with my captain today, about my little life path. I was at a smart school, SUNY Geneseo, and played my year there, hated it. Left Geneseo with a 0.9 GPA. And I really took a lot of lessons from my experience during that time period and using that for our guys now.